Know how deeply you, the entire nation, and I think I may say the whole world, sympathize with me in the irreparable loss we've all suffered.
Wait, did the palace really just say that on camera? Because 1 minute ago, King Charles walked into Clarence House and changed royal history forever. The velvet drapes trembled, aides stopped breathing, and every camera lens caught the moment his voice cracked. Effective immediately, he began. Her Majesty the Queen Consort Camilla will relinquish her title pending investigation. Girl, the gasp that went through the press room? Unreal. For the first time in modern monarchy, a reigning king publicly severed the bond of his own crown. Behind him, Queen Mary's crown glimmered coldly under studio lights, Cullinan diamonds flashing like witnesses to betrayal. Reporters shouted, church bells tolled, and insiders whispered one word: why? Well, turns out the reason was as glittering and as damning as the jewels themselves. A lost sapphire brooch once worn by Princess Diana suddenly popped up at a Geneva auction. And guess whose estate it traced back to? Sources claim Camilla's private Mill house. Within hours, investigators were following money trails and questioning an unnamed intermediary. It was Princess Anne who allegedly raised the first alarm, William who demanded accountability, and Catherine, poised as ever, who urged the king to protect the crown's integrity no matter the cost. Witnesses say Charles's hands trembled as he signed the decree. His words were few but fatal. The crown must remain pure, even when hearts are not. No public confirmation as of now, but everyone could feel it. The monarchy had just stepped into uncharted scandal. What forced this collision between loyalty and law? And could it actually rewrite the royal line of succession? Hold your tea, because the secrets behind that announcement are about to spill faster than TikTok comments on a breakup post. To understand how Britain's glittering facade cracked, we have to rewind, back to the quiet weeks before that October day in 2025. Autumn leaves, gala invitations, diamonds polished for display, the royal household prepping for its annual Heritage Gala. Camilla was set to wear Queen Mary's crown, along with heirlooms from both Elizabeth II and Diana. To the public, elegance. Behind the scenes, the calm before an emotional hurricane. Whispers began when collectors spotted a sapphire brooch, a twin of Diana's, listed under a discreet Swiss firm. Experts confirmed the engraving matched one piece missing from the Royal Collection Trust. The provenance trail? Straight back to Mill house. At first, palace aides brushed it off, but Princess Anne demanded a private audit of the jewel registry. What that audit uncovered made even seasoned courtiers freeze. Inconsistencies, missing paperwork, transfers bearing Camilla's initials. Meanwhile, William and Catherine, caught between loyalty and duty, arranged what the press thought was a family dinner. Insiders say the air turned to ice when William said, "Mother's memory is not a commodity." Catherine added softly, "The crown shines brightest when it's honest." No public confirmation as of now. For King Charles, the revelation hit like thunder in an empty cathedral. Those jewels weren't trinkets, they were history itself, passed from his mother to him. Now they'd become evidence of betrayal inside his own home. That's when he reportedly wrote the first letter to Geneva. 3 words in his own hand: confirm the truth. And the truth, when it came, split the palace like lightning through glass. Court corridors fell silent. The Royal Jewel Registry was quietly moved from the Tower of London to Clarence House. No explanation given, and anyone who knows royal rhythm knows. When the jewels move, something massive follows. By early October, advisors gathered in the Lancaster Room under crushing tension. The Geneva firm had confirmed it. The auction was real, the brooch authentic, the buyer's receipt tied to Mill house. When the report landed on Charles's desk, he read it 3 times and whispered only 2 words. Not again. That phrase carried ghosts. From the pearl chokers Camilla wore too soon after Diana's death to every unverified rumor of vanished heirlooms that mysteriously reappeared. Tabloids had feasted on such stories before. But this time there were documents, receipts, signatures, no public confirmation as of now. Princess Anne stormed into Clarence House unannounced. "You can't keep this contained," she snapped. "The world deserves clarity, not cover-ups." Charles said nothing, just stared at their mother's portrait. Later, Anne told a friend it was the first time she'd ever seen him look afraid. Meanwhile, William got strategic. He and Catherine drafted the integrity paper, a private plan for what to do if the story went public. One aide described Catherine as The calm between storms. But calm has an expiration date. And the palace clock was ticking. The first tremor inside Clarence House wasn't the tabloids, it was silence. Corridors that normally hummed with ritual now echoed like a crypt. Every whisper carried one name, Camilla. Behind closed doors, the jewel registry had been moved, papers spread across tables like open secrets. When Charles read the final report, aides swear his knuckles went white. The phrase he muttered, "Not again," cut through the room like glass. By that night, Princess Anne had marched in without warning. "You can't keep this buried," she told him. "The world deserves clarity." He only stared at their mother's portrait, the one that used to symbolize duty. Now it looked like judgment. No public confirmation as of now. Then came the dinner that wasn't a dinner. William, Catherine, and the king sat beneath chandeliers that felt too bright. Anne joined halfway through, file in hand, eyes sharp as a blade. The Geneva documents left no room for fairy tales. The sale had been authorized under Camilla's name. Even if she hadn't known, perception had already become reality. By dawn, the Privy Council was summoned. At the Maple Room's long mahogany table, history and heartbreak faced each other. Charles at the head, Anne to his right, William and Catherine to his left. Camilla entered last, pearls gone, face pale, gold chain trembling against her collarbone. "You think I've stolen something?" she whispered. "You think I've stolen her." The word "her" needed no explanation. "This isn't about her," Charles said quietly. "It's about the crown, and what the world now believes of it." Anne slid a folder across the table. Geneva signatures, photographs, valuations. Camilla's hands shook as she turned the pages. "These aren't my instructions. Someone used my name." William's tone cut like frost. "Then name them, because silence will destroy more than your reputation." The clock ticked, cruel and loud. Charles leaned back. "It doesn't matter who signed it anymore. The crown can't afford ambiguity." Behind him, the Queen Mary's crown gleamed beneath glass, diamonds burning like truth itself. Camilla's restraint shattered. "Do you think I ever wanted this life? I rebuilt it for you. For this family. Now you'll destroy me over something I didn't do." Anne's reply was ice over fire. "No one's destroying you, Camilla. You did that the moment you let trust slip through your fingers. No public confirmation as of now." Then Catherine spoke, soft, steady, lethal in its calm. "The jewels were never ornaments. They're stories of duty, of loss. When one disappears, it's not gold that's missing. It's memory." The room fell still. Even Camilla lowered her eyes. By midnight, the verdict was inevitable. At dawn, the king would confirm her withdrawal and the suspension of her title pending investigation. Polite words for royal exile. After everyone left, Charles remained alone. A glass of scotch untouched, the folder marked confidential before him. He stared at the crown under glass, its diamonds refracting his reflection into shards of guilt and grief. "The crown endures," he whispered. "A prayer, a curse, maybe both." Outside, rain tapped the palace windows like distant applause. Inside, a dynasty held its breath. Morning over London looked metallic. Cold sky, colder headlines. Clarence House gates glittered beneath flashbulbs as the crowd pressed forward, waiting for history to blink. Inside, staff moved like ghosts. Every step echoed between marble walls that suddenly felt too small for secrets. At exactly 10 a.m., King Charles appeared in the Grand Hall. Uniform crisp, eyes hollow. Beside him, the Queen Mary's crown gleamed under a single spotlight. No longer a symbol, now a witness. "It is with profound sadness," he began, "that I confirm a decision which has not come easily. Her Majesty the Queen Consort, Camilla, will withdraw from all royal duties and relinquish her title." The words landed like thunder in a chapel. Reporters froze. Flashes burst. Centuries shifted. Then his voice cracked once more. "This decision is made not in anger, but in preservation. The jewels of this crown are more than stones. They are trust. No public confirmation as of now. Outside, chaos." BBC cut programming, Sky News screamed crown in crisis, Twitter melted faster than tea on a scone. Some cheered, others wept. Older women clutched Diana portraits like relics finally avenged. By noon, lilies and handwritten notes covered Kensington's gates. One even left a replica sapphire brooch. Inside, the king whispered to William, It is time. William stepped forward, decree in hand. Catherine rested her fingers over his for one heartbeat, a silent anchor amid history's roar. Charles's closing line will echo through generations. The strength of the monarchy is not measured by its splendor, but by its conscience. Anne broke protocol, touching her brother's shoulder. She'll understand someday. Cameras caught it, the image of the day. As William and Catherine left the hall, cheers of "Long live the Prince and Princess of Wales" rolled through the gates. The crown had survived, but hearts lay in pieces. At Raymil House, Camilla watched the broadcast alone. She slipped off her ring, placed it beside the remote, and whispered, "So it ends." For her, exile didn't need guards, just silence. That night, Charles sat in the maple room, the crown glinting under glass. He reached toward it, but stopped short. "Forgive me," he murmured. Outside, St. James's bells tolled 12 times, each one a reckoning. No public confirmation as of now. London held its breath between celebration and mourning. The monarchy had done what duty demanded, but at a cost no coronation could ever repay. Charles's library smelled of cold tea and regret. Unread speeches about unity lay scattered like broken promises. "History never weeps," he told Anne later. "People do." Across town, William confessed to Catherine, "It doesn't feel like victory." She replied, "It's not victory. It's survival." The world agreed. Time called it the monarchy's reckoning. Francis Lamond called it moral resurrection. At dawn, a velvet box arrived at Kensington. Inside, the Queen Mary's crown gleaming softly. A note in Charles's hand read, "For safekeeping until it is time." Catherine closed the lid gently. The weight wasn't jewels, it was judgment. That evening, a private service filled Westminster Abbey with quiet hymns. No cameras, just rain sliding down stained glass like tears. Charles whispered, "May mercy outshine regret." For the first time in decades, Britain's crown stood stripped of illusion, tempered by truth. From scandal rose something rarer than diamonds, conscience. And though the world saw an ending, insiders knew better. This was the birth of a new era. At Birk Hall, the king sealed a letter to my sons. The jewels of this family are honesty, compassion, and restraint. If any are lost, the crown will lose its shine. Meanwhile, crowds gathered again as William and Catherine appeared for a charity event. No grand speeches, no titles flaunted, just quiet grace. Catherine wore Elizabeth's pearl bracelet, symbol of endurance. When she stepped from the car, the applause felt like relief. William whispered, "Mother would have been proud." For the first time in weeks, his smile was real. Back at Raymil House, Camilla turned the old coronation photo face up once more. Perhaps forgiveness, like truth, simply needs time, because in the end, the crown endured, not for being flawless, but for facing its flaws and still standing. This isn't just a story of royalty. It's about all of us, how power means nothing without conscience. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real legacy King Charles wanted the world to remember. What would you have done in his shoes? Was this justice or betrayal with good intent? Important. This video discusses public speculation and commentary. These claims are unverified unless otherwise noted.